Welcome back. So the first thing that we need to learn about HTML is the common HTML document structure. So a structure that each and every HTML document needs to have. But let's start by taking a very quick look at a project that we are going to build throughout this section. So we are building the code magazine. So as you can see here and in this code magazine, we are building this very simple kind of blog post called the basic language of web. So we have some links here, we have images, we have some bold text, we have here you see, we have some italic text, we have lists, and yeah, there is a bunch of stuff that we will learn in this section. So that by the end you will have learned the fundamentals of HTML and we will end up with the project. Okay, but anyway, let's now finally get to work. And the first thing that we need to do again is to create our project folder. And there you can just drag the HTML and fundamentals folder and just paste it in your desktop so that you can easily access the items that you just need to. And you can also just directly use it, but to avoid the confusion, I just created it on my desktop. Now let's just come back to the VS Code, and here you can simply open a new window, and there you can open the folder by clicking here, or else you can just also select by clicking the file and open the folder that you just saved on your desktop. By selecting the folder, you can see here all the images and the content which are present in the folder can be seen in your VS Code. And here we just open a file, and as you can see here there are all the images and the content that I mentioned before. So for creating any web page, index.html is the primary page that you need to have to create any web page, and it is the first page of your web page. So here you can also see the content.txt file, and you can just click here to collapse the sidebar, and you can see all the content that I gave you here to create this website. And now let's go back to the index.html. Once again, we'll use the cheat trick that we used before. And anyhow, you need to learn all the tags and the characters that we used here to know how to build a professional website. Okay, let's actually start writing the code by ourselves. So you just need to mention the doc type first. So as you can see here, the VS Code is actually suggesting us to use the doc type, but we will type with our hands so that it can stick to your brain. So by writing this doc type HTML, we are saying that the folder is HTML. First, we'll declare the HTML tag. As you can see here, the VS Code is automatically suggesting us to close the tag. But since you're the beginners, you just need to write all by your hands without taking help. So you can also close this suggestion by simply opening the settings and closing tags and disable this feature so that it won't suggest you the closing tags. Okay, let's start writing our HTML code. Okay. Under this HTML, we'll actually start writing the head, and we are not doing anything here, so just I'm closing the head tag and same body tag. So HTML is the first tag to write the HTML document, and all the other tags are inside the HTML. So in the head section, whatever we write, it won't display in the web page, and the content only reflected in the web page are written in the body. So as I said, The content, whatever you write in the head, would display in the web page, like meta characters, links, and connection to the external web pages. And since I'm not specifying any links and CSS file here right now, I'm just adding the title. My first web page. And this title won't be displayed on the web page, but you can see it on the panel. I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, then the body is actually for all the elements that will be visible on the page. So all the elements that we hear in the browser will always be inside the body. And just to show it to you, instead of leaving it empty, let me put some code here. So I will again use the heading 1 element. So H1. So that's the content. And then again, alright, now we haven't saved this file yet. But as we do, Premiere will again format this file for us. So let's give it a save. And you see that now we have to correct indentation. And by indentation, what I mean is that since this head element, for example, is inside the HTML, it should have some space here. To make that visibly obvious, okay, so basically this is just a tab here. So if I hit the tab key, then it will be added another level of indentation. And so now it's at the same level as the title, which doesn't make sense because the title is also inside of the head, right? So we have the head inside of HTML, and then inside of the head, we have the title element. And so therefore it has another level of indentation. Okay, now this is just for aesthetic reasons to make our code more readable. So the browser really doesn't care about this indentation, but it is still important for us to be able to read the code. So again, let's give it a save, and I think we are ready now to actually go ahead and open this in the browser. So let's come to our project folder, and I think we are ready now to actually go ahead and open this in the browser. So let's come to our project folder and open it. And you can actually see here the index. You can just click it and open with the browser that you would like. And yes, you can see here the hello world is displayed, which I wrote in the body. So let's now quickly inspect by coming back to the browser. Okay, let's quickly review. So every HTML document always needs to start with so-called doc type. And so this will the browser know that we are actually using HTML in this file. And all browsers will then know that they should use the HTML5 specifications to render this HTML. Then we have HTML element, which is always the parent element of both the head and the body element. So the structure is really always the same in all web pages. We always need to have an HTML element with a head and with a body. Now, what we put into the head and the body is optional, but having these two is not optional. So, we always need head and body. Now, in this situation, all I put in the head is just the title element, but here we can put all kinds of other stuff that are not visible or that are not rendered here. In the main part of the browser, on the other hand, the content that we actually want to be rendered here should be going to the body. And so that's why having the H1 element here that then appears visible on the page. Okay, and that's it. It's the basic HTML structure for each and every HTML document that you really need to know. And with that, let's move on to the next lecture where we will learn a couple of new elements for working with text. So I hope to see you there soon.